What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Mid-Level Media channel, your hub for everything physical media and entertainment. I am Ken. Today, guys, we're here to talk about some Blu-ray and 4K buying alternatives to Best Buy. Of course, we talked about it last week, guys, but Best Buy in 2024, ending in Q1, is the speculated date. They will no longer be selling physical media in their stores or on their website. And that prompted a lot of people to freak out. They said the end of physical media is upon us. I hate to break it to you guys, but Best Buy only accounts for a very small portion of physical media sales. So as much as I don't think it's a good thing that Best Buy is shutting down, believe me, I don't think it's a good thing. I made an entire video last week about it. I'm sad. I'm sad by the fact that Best Buy is not selling physical media anymore. I go there at least twice a month. I still buy physical media all the time from Best Buy. It was my go-to spot for the longest time. I like picking up stuff in person. That's just the kind of person that I've always been. I like going to the stores. I mean, back in the day, I used to shop at Suncoast Records, and I bought my physical media in person. That's the only thing I knew up until about 2 or 3 years ago. Of course, I've shopped on Amazon, for the past 10, 15 years, but I like picking stuff up physically in person. So it's definitely not good news that Best Buy is shutting down, but somebody actually asked me, they put in the comments section, I believe, of my Best Buy video, "Hey, Ken, do you mind making a video showcasing some of the alternatives to Best Buy, some websites that we can shop on for our physical media?" And I talk about all these websites that I'm getting ready to talk about here today, but I thought it would be nice to have them all in one video. Talking about it, talking about the benefits of each one, what one has versus the other. And yeah, just really get into it. And I wanted to do it like this, just kind of recording on StreamYard. So this will probably be very messy. I'm not going to edit anything, so I'm just going to let it fly. Almost thought about doing a live stream of it, but I thought I would just record it here today and just get into it with you guys and do it like this because I can go through each website one by one and just really get into the details of each one. But before we get into it, like, comment, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We're all about physical media here. It's not dying. It's not going anywhere. Just because Best Buy is no longer going to sell it, I'm not saying it's fine. It definitely sucks, but there's other places to go to shop for physical media. So let's go ahead and get into it. Let's start off with the actual so look, if you just buy the normal titles, like, your normal, like, Marvel, Disney stuff, standard Warner Brothers, 4K upgrades, studio upgrades, then, Amazon's probably a good option. Walmart's probably a good option. Target is probably a good option for you because you're probably not going to get any of that stuff any cheaper than those websites anyway, especially Amazon. But I'm not really going to focus on Amazon or Walmart or Target in today's videos. Those are kind of givens. You can go there to purchase physical media. Well, Target's kind of declining as well, but they're still available to order a lot of stuff on their website. Target actually has a lot of boutique physical media on their website, but if you don't just want to get the mainstream stuff, I guess is what I'm trying to say, and you want to get into the boutique stuff, I recommend, honestly, and sometimes you'll find some really good sales. I recommend the actual websites, of these boutiques. Support these boutique companies directly if you can, if the prices are competitive. Now, some of these websites are competitive, some of them are not, and we'll get into it. But if you can and you enjoy these boutique titles and these labels, try to support these companies directly through their website. So we're going to go through a number of the boutique websites. I'm not going to go through every single one of them. And again, I bring these websites up. I'm always promoting sales and new announcements and all that. But let's go ahead and get to the first one, Screen Factory. This is the one that's a little bit of a tough recommendation for me. And let me make this a little bit bigger, make myself very much smaller. This is the one that's a little bit of a tough recommendation. I do like pre-ordering from Screen Factory occasionally, but their prices are not very competitive when you're comparing them to Amazon. Now, I will say, if you do order from Screen Factory directly, and we'll go ahead and scroll through here, you will, in most cases, get a poster with it. Now, does that one poster or two posters, three posters, sometimes if it's a bundle, you get more, is that worth the extra $10 to $15 you're going to be paying with shipping? Probably not, but it is a cool thing that you get extra when you order directly from Scream Factory. Another cool thing that happens when you order directly from Scream Factory is in a lot of cases, a lot of times, you'll get it like a week and a half to 2 weeks early before the actual street date. So if you want to get this stuff early, say you're on YouTube like I am, and maybe you want to do a review and you want to do it before everybody else gets it, like that may be a good option for you. Now, imagine most people watching me aren't on YouTube, so that has nothing to do with you. But it is cool to get it in early sometimes before everybody else and get to check it out before everybody else. So that's definitely an option to get on the boutique websites. Screen Factory, they'll do sales from time to time. They just got done doing a sale, and sometimes you'll find some good prices on here, but most of the time it's just their regular, 4K prices are about $37. The Blu-rays are usually $20 or more. Sometimes I've seen them at like 27, 28. You'll find some stuff though that's a little bit cheaper from time to time, but most of the time it's 20, it's 30, it's 37. So not a ton of great deals. Like some of their older releases, like Cherry Falls, Ginger Snaps, 15.99. But yeah, I think the main pro of shopping on the Scream Factory website and pre-ordering from Scream Factory is you get the posters, you get it in early. Now, if you're just getting on here browsing, it's going to be cheaper on Amazon. But yeah, Scream Factory is, and I don't like the way that Scream Factory formats their website. But again, this is an option if you want to order off of. And again, I do recommend supporting the labels directly in most cases. All right, let's get on Kino Lorber. I love Kino Lorber, and this is one boutique that I definitely recommend that you order from, directly. Even if it's a pre-order or a new item that's coming out. First off, Kino Lorber does sales 4 times a year. They do sales. I try to update you guys every time. They just got done with one, but 4 times a year they do sales. Incredible sales. Their stuff will be marked down like 50%. You'll get Blu-rays for like $8, $9. You'll get 4Ks for $17, $18. So just some incredible sales, but just their prices in general, like if it's a new title that you're pre-ordering, sometimes it'll actually be cheaper on the Kino Lorber website than Amazon or Walmart or Best Buy. So you can pre-order it from Kino Lorber, and not only are you supporting the company directly, but you're also getting a little bit cheaper. And I believe if you order $50 worth of stuff, I just put it in a pre-order of a bunch of titles a few weeks ago. I believe you get free shipping as long as you're paying, $50 or ordering $50 worth of stuff. So I do like to support the Kino Lorber website. And when I get a Kino Lorber release, I've ordered from Amazon from time to time. But one thing you have to know is that when you pre-order Kinos from Amazon, sometimes you won't get them until like 2 or 3 weeks later. Now that's happened to me also ordering from the Kino Lorber website. They're not great with sending your stuff like early, like Screen Factory, but you will get it early as well from time to time. But a lot of times it'll be just the week that it releases, and it probably just depends on your location as well. But Kino Lorber price wise, they're competitive with all the other retailers, in my estimation. Now, every now and then you'll see Amazon mark down some pre-orders to $19.99, and I'll jump on that like if it's a little bit cheaper. Look, at the end of the day, I'm looking out for me and my pocketbook, and I'm going to try to get the best deal that I possibly can, and I'm going to try to help you guys get the best deal that you possibly can as well. But the Manchurian Candidate, Ronin, those got marked down to like $19.99, so I pre-ordered them off of Amazon when those came out back in June, but I didn't get them until like a month after they released. So that's the disadvantage from ordering from Amazon versus the Kino Lorber website. But I love Kino Lorber. I love supporting them directly. So definitely a cool website to check out and a cool company to support if you're not in Kino Lorber. All right, so let's check out Vinegar Syndrome. This is my favorite website of all the boutique websites because they format it so nice. Everything is so organized. Like you know what the new titles are, you know where they're at. They have countdowns to when their new title announcements are. And as soon as they announce stuff, it's up on the website. When Scream Factory announces stuff, you may see half of it on the website, and then 3 hours later, you'll see one more. And then the next day, they'll have all of them on the website. Whereas Vinegar Syndrome, it's like that. As soon as they announce their titles, it is up. Noon on the first of the month, you know all the new Vinegar Syndrome announcements. So it's super organized. It's super professional. And I just love the Vinegar Syndrome website. And one thing that I have to know with Vinegar Syndrome is you cannot pre-order a lot of this stuff, at least when it comes out at the end of the month, because the way Vinegar Syndrome does their announcements is they announce everything the beginning of the month, and then you get it at the end of the month. So they announce their October titles at the beginning of October, and then you get them at the end of October if you pre-order them from the website. Now, they will not go up on Amazon. Like Vinegar Syndrome has exclusivity to these titles until the next month, the following month. So you kind of have to, if you want these titles brand new, you have to get them off the Vinegar Syndrome website. Now, Vinegar Syndrome has sales all the time. They have stuff that's going out of print that's on sale, and it's just a really cool website to browse and use, because you click on these titles, like you got Mark of the Devil coming out, and it will tell you how much is left in stock. So that's another cool feature. You know exactly what's left. You can browse all the time and check, like, if you don't want to pick all this stuff when it comes out, if you're afraid it's going to run out, but you don't have the money to get it, you'll know when it's going to run out, because as long as you're checking frequently, you can see when it gets down to like 200 or 150. Now, when it gets down to that point, definitely pull the trigger. Um, but yeah, Vinegar Syndrome's a great website. Now, I know some people's a little iffy on the movies that Vinegar Syndrome puts out, but I generally, enjoy the stuff that I buy from them. It's very schlocky 80s, 90s, some 70s horror stuff, but it's fun. So yeah, Vinegar Syndrome's website is awesome. It's the best of all the boutiques just because of how organized it is. And another thing that I have to point out is you can join the club. You can be a Vinegar Syndrome member, and I'm pretty sure, depending on how much money you spend, I think it's a cent for every dollar that you spend, but you get points back. It's a point system. So as of right now, I believe I have like $10 or something in points. And the more you spend, the more like the multiplier goes up, and you get even more points for every dollar spent. So that's a really cool feature as well. It could lead to some really good discounts. So highly recommend getting your Vinegar Syndrome stuff from the Vinegar Syndrome website. I always support Vinegar Syndrome directly. And then some of these other sites, you got Arrow Video. Nothing. I like the Arrow Video website. It's a fine site. They organize their stuff pretty good as well. And there is a Arrow Video sale going on right now, actually, until November the 1st. I did a whole video on that, so not going to go into the details of it. But as you can see, they have the Warriors 4K coming out, Savage Guns. So, but their prices sometimes are not going to be very competitive with an Amazon. You're probably better off ordering from Amazon sometimes when you're getting these Arrow Video releases, for sure. But sometimes they'll be about the same, but sometimes they'll be way different. But yeah, that's Arrow Video. Let's go ahead and jump into Criterion. Um, and to be honest, like, Criterion's a hard sell because their stuff is always going to be uh the full SRP, and it's rarely ever marked down. So your best bet is always going with Amazon on the Criterion stuff, unless, like what they had yesterday, they had a flash sale on their website, and you could get all this stuff for 50% off. But the main thing with Criterion is you got to shop the Barnes and Noble website during July and November to get 50% off of all titles all month long. But they just announced Train Spotting, so you click on that. It's not full SRP. It is marked down, but it is going to be $40 on here for the 4K of Train Spotting. And I guarantee by the time this comes out, it'll be on Amazon for $35. So it's a little bit cheaper on Amazon to get these Criterion titles. That's where I usually order my Criterions from. Again, I'm going to try to get the best price always. But if the boutique sites do better, then I'll definitely order from them directly. And let me jump into this site real quick. I'm going to jump on the Teravision website. Teravision's a new boutique label that's doing some very interesting work. And I just wanted to highlight them here because they got a lot of cool stuff. They do records, they do cassette tapes, they do VHS tapes, but they also do Blu-rays. And let me click on there if this actually takes me to the right place. So they announced some new Blu-rays recently, but they have a new, they have a line. It's a numbered line of all these titles that they put out. And I believe you can get these on Amazon, but it's a Vinegar Syndrome kind of situation where you can't get them when they first come out, but you can get them later on down the line on Amazon. So you really have to support Teravision directly. And I didn't even call this out, but with Vinegar Syndrome, like there's a subscription service. You can literally sign up for a subscription service and get all the titles all year long. Not every single one. There's some specialty ones you can get, but you can get most of the titles all year long that they put out. Of course, you don't always know where they're going to put out, so it's a gamble. So unless you really like blind buying, don't do it. But it's the same thing with Teravision. They do a subscription service as well, which is really cool. So definitely a good option. I bought from Teravision quite a few times. I've got about 6 items on order right now from them. I'm just waiting to get it shipped to me. Now it's a very, small, independent kind of startup Blu-ray label. So don't expect when you put a pre-order in for this, there's no like official release dates for any of this stuff. It just kind of you'll get it when we're done. And that's just kind of what you have to count on with Teravision, and that's not a bad thing. It's just they're like I said, they're a very small startup Blu-ray label, and you got to give them time to kind of develop. And I like supporting stuff like that because I think what they're doing is pretty cool. So I definitely want to highlight them. But let's go ahead and jump off of the boutique websites and onto the general online retailers. I've got a number of websites that you can shop from and support. Some websites that run some incredible sales that have incredible deals. And we are starting with Groove. Now, a lot of these websites, Groove is mostly studio stuff. I'll say that. But some of the other websites I'm going to show off, they do a nice mix of studio stuff, boutique stuff. They just do everything. So we'll get into that here in a second. But Groove is definitely the studio label centric website. So if you want that alternative to Best Buy, like this is probably going to be one of your best bets is this website. If you don't want to shop, Amazon, Target, or Walmart, but they're always having sales. Always having sales. Right now, they have Hitchcock Horror, terrifying deals from the Master of Suspense. It's like I just get on here like once a week and I see what's going on because they're just always doing sales like all the time. They've started doing exclusives as well. Like they have Duel, the 4K steelbook of Duel coming up. It's coming out in November, and that's an exclusive to the Groove website. They already have pre-order for Oppenheimer up as well. Sometimes they'll get pre-orders for some studio stuff way before Amazon does. Right here, they have a 2 Blu-rays for $12 deal. And you'll just find stuff on here that you don't find anywhere else. Like Weekend at Bernie's is on here. Harry and the Henderson, like I need to grab Harry and the Hendersons and Weekend at Bernie's because I need both of those on Blu-ray. So I could get both of those for $12 on this website. So they just have a really cool selection on the Groove website. So I do highly recommend Groove. And right here you have some Blu-ray deals, a lot of scary horror movies for like $6, $7, $5. It's just some incredible deals. They have a 4K horror sale going on right now. And if you sign up for their newsletter, if this is your first time on Groove, you can take 20% off your first order. So make that worth it and get a lot of stuff and take $20 off of it. You could save like upwards of $20 to $30 if you're spending in the $100 range. But just tons of good deals. They got the Nun for $13.99 on 4K, and they got the Universal Classic Monsters are actually $30 on Amazon, so that's not much of a deal on here. But I just picked up Train to Busan on 4K, so I can't recommend Groove enough. It's a really awesome website, and they always are running some cool deals, and they always seem to have just a unique stock of stuff to grab. So let's go ahead and jump into this next website. I'm always talking about this one as well, but this is Hamilton Books. And Hamilton Books is interesting because they do a nice mix of boutique stuff and studio stuff. And it all just seems to be random. But every single month, they update their website with a bunch of new stock and they get a lot. And I'm saying a lot of the Vinegar Syndrome stuff, the partner label stuff. They get Arrow Video stuff. They don't usually get a ton of Scream Factory stuff from what I've seen, but right here they have City of the Living Dead for $5 on Blu-ray from Blue Underground, and that's an incredible movie. Yes, there's better editions, but like if you just want that movie on Blu-ray, and I'm sure the Blu-ray looks just fine, you can get that movie, and that's an incredible movie, boutique movie with tons of special features for $5 on Hamilton Books. So they always have some good deals. They've got steelbooks as well. Right here, they have The Quiet Place Part 2 steelbook. I'm pretty sure that was a Best Buy exclusive, and that's $10. They got 12 Monkeys on Blu-ray. So they got some of the boutique label stuff for $10. They got RoboCop on Blu-ray for 12 bucks. Yes, there's a 4K, but that's still cool. Cat's Eyes on here for 5 bucks. Just some nice, cool, random assortment of steel books and boutique releases. 4Ks. They got 31. This was a Target exclusive steel book for $7. And I think I paid like 20 bucks when that came out to get that steel book. Becky's here on Blu-ray for 5 bucks. That was a cool movie. The Leech, when that came out last year, it was $28 on Amazon. Now it's $11.95. So just get on here. I will link every single one of these websites in the description below, guys. So don't worry about that. But check out these websites. It's a cool alternative to Best Buy. That's why I'm doing this whole video. But they just have great deals sometimes, and you should always be trying to browse and scope out the best deals that you can find for physical media, because this stuff's not cheap, and we're not millionaires, and we can't buy everything, and we can't spend $50 on every single release. Sometimes we wait, and you can find this stuff for cheap on this website. So Hatchet 3 is on here for 5 bucks. Richard Jewell is an incredible movie. I need to get that. That is 5 bucks. It's a Clint Eastwood directed film, but I love that movie. And yeah, you can get Angel Has Fallen 4K, $7 on here. So this is stuff that I've seen, these movies at Black Friday at Best Buy, and they've been more expensive there than here. So this is like Black Friday prices all year long here on Hamilton Books. And right there, I mean, you can get The Fog and The Howling in a double pack set for 5 bucks. Like, you can't beat that. Like, if you don't care about getting these super boutique, nice releases, like, this is a great option. Ran is 10 bucks on here. This Terminator 2 Judgment Day Total Recall set is 10 bucks. Just incredible deal. Spiral on 4K is $8. Source Code on 4K is 10 bucks. Like, just incredible deals. Incredible. So I could spend all day on Hamilton Books just talking about all these great deals, but let's go ahead and move on to some of these other sites. And these next sites that we're going to get into are definitely, I use them primarily for that higher end boutique stuff. And a lot of the times I use these sites, like I'm on Diabolic right now, for the overseas stuff, for the non-domestic stuff, like your second sites, like your umbrellas, like your imprints, like your Arrow Video UK exclusives. Like, you can get all this stuff on these websites that I'm getting ready to go into. So we're on Diabolic DVD right now, and they have pretty much all of the new boutique stuff, overseas stuff right there. You see, I'm seeing some naughty movies right here. But they have the Paramount Scares box set right here, which is getting ready to come out. And that's actually, I'm pretty sure this is cheaper than Amazon right now. I think Amazon's $111 and it's $104.99 on Diabolic. So you definitely want to jump on here and check out some of these sales. Like I said, always look, guys, because even if you think Amazon's always the cheapest, which most of the time, honestly, it is, every now and then somebody will do better than them. and they'll mark their stuff down pretty cheap. But you got the upcoming Criterion titles: Blood Simple 4K, $34.99. This Danza Macabre Volume 2 is $91.99. So just some good stuff. They got all kinds of boutique stuff, past and present. But this is some of the newest pre-orders. We got Young Guns 4Ks on here already to pre-order for $19.99. So just all kinds of great stuff. This is all the new pre-orders, but this is a great site to get to. Like, I hear it all the time. Oh, that sucks that that's a UK release. Does it? You can get on these sites, guys, and just order it like it's Amazon. And it's not hard. I used to think it was hard. I was like, I don't want to bother with all that stuff. But these are great websites. They will do the importing for you. All you have to do is pay shipping. They have this stock anyway. They already import it for you. All you have to do is purchase it off of their website, and you don't have to pay those ridiculous overseas shipping costs. Like, I ordered the Hellraiser box set, the Torment of the Quartet of Torment, I think it's called, for $64.99 on here. Like, that's not a bad price at all. And they got the Peeping Tom release upcoming on here, 4K for $27.99. Ghost Dog, which is an overseas 4K for $27.99. But they also have the domestic stuff. Face Off on 4K, $24.99. So just some great deals all around on here for sure. And I believe that Diabolic is actually running a deal right now. I can show that off here in a second, but they got some good stuff on sale. But this is all the recent Scream Factory stuff. So High Tension, I pre-ordered this off of here, and there's still the big box set editions on here. You can get for $46.99 for High Tension. And again, you just have to pay $5 for shipping. That's it. It's not a ridiculous, import cost. And this is another one that if you sign up for the newsletter, you get 10% off. The Child's Play, the Chucky box set, overseas release, $104.99 on here. So not bad prices. They don't gouge you, and they do the importing for you. Police Story Trilogy 4K set. So just get on here and do some browsing. And let me go back to the home screen because, like I said, yes, they have a sale right now until Halloween, October the 31st. So they got the labels involved are Unearthed, Synapse, Radiance, Arrow, 88 Films, and Blue Underground. So tons of great stuff in this sale. So definitely go check out Diabolic. That is my preferred site of all of these sites we're getting ready to get into. And I will say that they ship everything in a timely manner. I usually get my stuff in before release date or on release date. It's packaged very well. And it just feels like a lot of care went into the shipping process from Diabolic. So to me, they haven't done me wrong yet. And I've been using them for about a year now. So I have no reason to go anywhere else. But Grindhouse, we'll get ready to get into, is pretty much another alternative to Diabolic. They do a lot of the same kind of stuff. They do a lot of the boutique stuff. I think they're probably mostly boutique. I don't know how much studio stuff they have. But right here, you see the Quartet of Torment. Sorry, guys. That's a little bit more expensive. Sometimes I notice, honestly, that Grindhouse is a little bit more expensive than Diabolic. That's why I haven't used them. But from what I've heard, they definitely do, good by their customers. They ship your stuff on time or early, and nobody ever really has any issue with them. So, but yeah, it's just hard for me to order from Grindhouse because they are more expensive than Diabolic, and I never had an issue with Diabolic. But they do a lot of the same stuff, so just hop on here and check it out. Check out all these websites, guys. Just take an afternoon and just stroll through these websites because there's tons of cool stuff to check out for sure. But let's go ahead and jump on Orbitz, and I've used Orbit quite a few times. I have used Orbit quite a few times. I don't think they do all movies on Orbit. I think they do some other stuff. Maybe they do just do movies, but I'm seeing like a book setup here. But again, they do a lot of the same stuff. They got some of the upcoming like overseas releases, like the Talk to Me Steel books on here. The Memento sets. I might have to grab this because I wanted to get it and it was sold out. And now I'm seeing it's in stock here on Orbit. I think it did sell out for a little bit though. But yeah, this was a 101 Films release. Really cool release, Christopher Nolan film. But they have studio stuff on here as well. They got Haunted Mansion, Blu-ray, and they have a lot of the boutique stuff, upcoming boutique stuff that's coming out. But they got The Nun as well. Now, again, you're going to get the studio stuff for cheaper off of Amazon most of the time. So it doesn't really benefit you to order that off of here. But a lot of the boutique label stuff, guys, a lot of the overseas stuff, that it definitely, benefits you. You got Killer Joe on here. That's a William Friedkin film. You got Sorcerer on here. These movies are sold out because everybody gobbled them up when Friedkin passed away, I guess. This is actually the Friedkin section. I didn't even notice that. Let's look through this real quick. They got Jade. They got The Exorcist, obviously. I did pre-order Bug, and I'm still waiting on that to come in. Still waiting patiently. They got tons of Exorcist editions. They got that UK Exorcist with the slipcover. Like if you didn't want to purchase the crappy slipcover that nobody liked, you get the overseas one with the artwork, the classic poster. The Guardian. I believe that this is. I feel like this is a book. Yeah, this is a book. They do books as well. But yeah, just a cool website. Orbit, Grindhouse, Diabolic. They all do similar stuff. I just find that I like the service of Diabolic, and I think that Diabolic has the best prices of all these sites. Orbit's pretty comparable as well, but I just think that Diabolic is the overall better website. Some people could disagree, but that's just my opinion. And I think they just did an overhaul on it as well, and I just think that it using it is a lot easier than it was. All right, let's jump into a couple more websites. We have Deep Discount. And Deep Discount has a variety of things. I'm just realizing we've gone about 30 minutes already. This is going to be a long video, but I'm trying to go as in depth as I can. Deep Discount has a variety of stuff. They've got movies, they've got vinyls, they've got books, they've got video games, they've got electronics, CDs, horror collectibles. But let's go ahead and get into the movies. That's why most of you are here. And they run like some random sales from time to time. They got a 4K Ultra HD sale right now. I'm trying to see the prices. So they got Lost Boys for $15.29. A lot of these, we just looked at Groove, and they were a little bit cheaper on Groove for a lot of these. So, they say deep discount, but sometimes they're not the deepest discount, if you know what I mean. But yeah, a lot of studio stuff on here. And but sometimes you'll find some really good deals on here as well. You just got to do some browsing and catch them at the right moments. You got a 50% off mystery noir sale going on. So, but yeah, the prices don't look too competitive to me, to be honest. But they do have Killer Joe on here, and Orbit did not have Killer Joe, and that is $12. So again, you just got to browse all these sites, and you got to see who has the best prices, because sometimes one of them will just surprise you, and they'll be cheaper than everybody. So you really just got to do your due diligence and check all these websites out, guys. That's why I'm trying to highlight them here today. But Deep Discount is it's a website I don't use too often, but every now and then they'll have some really good sales. All right, let's go ahead and jump on Bull Moose. Let's jump on Bull Moose. And I have only ordered, and Bull Moose is like an actual store. I think up in New England has a lot of Bull Mooses, or maybe they just have a couple. Um, but they also have a website, and they will ship you stuff. And recently, they really helped me out and sent me the Infinity Pool Steelbook because Amazon was out of stock, everybody was out of stock, and only Bull Moose had it, and they had it for a pretty good price. So I got on here and got the Infinity Pool Steelbook from Bull Moose. Now, I will say they shipped it to me in a bubble mailer. It wasn't in a box, but the steelbook wasn't damaged or anything like that. So their shipping's a little bit questionable, but sometimes they will have stuff that nobody else will. And I have to imagine that the only reason they do is because not as many people know about Bull Moose. So they just end up having a greater stock on some of this stuff or have it for longer. But they have pretty competitive prices, pretty in line with Amazon from what I'm seeing. The Blob is 2 cents cheaper on here than it is Amazon right now. Um, but yeah, they got records, they got books, they got vinyl, they got all that stuff. Let's look at the movie section real quick though. We'll look at featured 4Ks. See what they got. See, they got all the studio stuff. They got the Mandalorian, WandaVision, pre-order. They got Criterion, Blue Beetle, Cujo. Cujo is actually a pretty good price. I think it's a little bit cheaper than on Kino. $24.97. But yeah, they got Fargo on here as well. So it's just another option. Sometimes you'll get on these websites and they'll all be sold out of a particular item, but you'll get on Bull Moose and they'll have it. They came through for me with that Infinity Pool 4K Steelbook. But look, guys, that's it. There you have it. I know this video was sloppy. It was all over the place. I would have loved to have done a really highly edited video getting into all these websites and the pros and the cons and all that stuff. But I thought, the hell with it. I'll just get on here and do this. And we'll go through every website one by one, the big boutique websites, all of these, online retailers. And I just mainly the main thing I want you to take away from this video is there's other options. There's other options out there. There's a lot of options. Yes, it sucks that Best Buy's going away. Those exclusive steelbooks, it remains to be seen where those will all go. I imagine they'll go somewhere else. I think a lot of them might go to Groove, to be honest. But most will probably go to Walmart's and, possibly Amazon as well. But, there's other options out there. This is not the death of physical media just because we don't have Best Buy anymore. It's sad and it sucks. and it's the last thing I wanted to happen, but it happened. And you know, you can shop other places though. But thank you all for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, turn on those bell notifications for all future videos, and follow me on all my social media accounts. Those links are down below in the description, as well as all of these websites will be down below in the description as well. And we'll see you next time.